From the studios of Books in Motion, this is Michael Bowen reading Muslim Mafia, Inside the Secret Underworld That's Conspiring to Islamize America, originally published in 2009 by P. David Gaubatz and Paul Sperry. Now let's begin with Muslim Mafia. A note of caution from the authors. This is not a book about Islam or Muslims in general. It is about the threat from Sharia Islam and violent jihad propagated by a criminal class of Muslims known as the Muslim Brotherhood or the Ikhwan Mafia. This secretive organization dominates most established Muslim groups and mosques in America, while exploiting, manipulating, and even victimizing law-abiding Muslim Americans. Only a small share of the world's 1.3 billion Muslims are part of this dangerous group. This book is about them. Forward. The book you are about to read is compiled by one of the foremost investigative teams in America. I have known investigative journalist and writer Paul Sperry for some time now, and have turned to him for advice and counsel on many of the issues covered in this important book. He goes beyond just asking the questions that need to be asked. He provides answers that may shock you. Former federal investigator and co-author P. David Gaubatz, meanwhile, is a great American who deserves all our gratitude for his heroic service to our country. If you are reading this book, I commend you. I commend you for wanting to know what is going on in our country. If you don't know the problem, you can't help fix the problem. America is asleep to the danger that confronts us. Since the 1960s, there has been a concerted effort on the part of radical Islamists to infiltrate our major institutions. Front groups of terror now operate openly in our country, comprising a network of support for jihadists. Most Americans do not know about recently declassified documents detailing their secret plot to take over the United States from within, a plot launched by Islamist groups tied to the dangerous Muslim Brotherhood, which is based in Egypt and which is funded primarily by wealthy Saudis and emirs. And these groups are already in this country, building an impressive infrastructure of support for the jihadist enemy. Our elected officials, by and large, are ignorant concerning the threat, or are afraid to speak out. The general public is not being told about the danger. In many instances, our laws are being used against us. Many of the seemingly disconnected actions of these groups are actually connected in what the authors aptly describe as a highly organized religious crime syndicate. Government officials need to stop hiding behind political correctness and keep the American people informed. Until then, the people will not know the truth. The radical Islamists overseas have repeatedly told us how they intend to infiltrate all areas of our society and use the freedoms that are guaranteed under our Constitution to eventually replace it with Sharia law. They have telegraphed their intent. Now we have proof, from the secret documents that this investigative team has uncovered, coupled with the ones recently declassified by the FBI, that their agents living among us have a plan in place, and they are successfully carrying out that subversive plan. It is very alarming that we actually have the enemy's playbook for their so-called grand jihad against North America, yet we refuse to seriously confront the threat to our sovereignty and our way of life. We Americans must wake up before it is too late. Sue Myrick, member of the United States Congress, a Republican from North Carolina, co-founder, Congressional Anti-Terrorism Caucus. Preface. This book and its findings are supported by reams of exclusive documentary evidence, including several boxes of confidential files obtained legally, if clandestinely, from the national offices of the Council on American-Islamic Relations, the inner sanctum of the Muslim Mafia in America. CAIR, or CAIR, which calls itself an advocate for Muslim Americans, has operated largely in secret since its inception 15 years ago. As a nonprofit group, it is exempt from paying federal income taxes and is protected from disclosing the identities of its financial donors.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?